I'm John Batchelor. Gordon Chang, my colleague and co-host, is here, Forbes.com. Gordon, we've talked of capital flight. We've talked of property values swelling in London, and perhaps 27% of the commercial of the mortgage activity, the purchase, the property activity in London over this last year has been suggestive Chinese money. That looks like people getting their money out. But it had not occurred to me that when you own a chain of movie theaters, you're getting your money out. We welcome Matthew Miller, who's the billionaires editor at Bloomberg News. Appropriate. These are all ironic remarks. But in any event, Matthew, a very good evening to you. Who is Wang Jianlin? How did he get all of his money? Good evening.
Good evening. Wang Jianlin is the richest man in China. This is newly discovered after we were able to revalue all of his assets. He's a commercial property developer who's now branching out into movie theaters. He got started building what he called Wanda Plazas, which is a play on the name of his property developer, and they were office spaces and retail spaces, shopping centers in China. Last year, he bought the AMC Entertainment, which is the movie theater chain here in the United States. He bought it for $2.6 billion. And so right now, the richest man in China probably owns your local movie theater.
Gordon, in understanding a man who is purchasing into American markets and he's a billionaire in China, what would be the motive there? Is this diversification? Is this a man who has just lost something to buy with all of his money in China? How do you see this?
Well, there are a couple of ways, too. One of them, of course, is capital flight. The other is, he's looking out and seeing China and just not perceiving the opportunities that are there. Got to remember that China is the #1 theater market in the world, fastest growth. Wanda is the #1 theater company in China. And what does he do? He takes his money and doesn't exploit his commercial advantage. He buys a dog of a company in the United States where the market is shrinking. This is really interesting behavior on the part of Wang.
He's 58 years old. That means, say, 20, 25 years ago when the transformation began, he was a modest 33-year-old man. He's said to sing Tibetan and Mongolian folk songs. I'm curious, Gordon, because he's the oldest of 5 brothers. I learned from Matthew Miller in Bloomberg. He's born to a military family. There's the suggestion that he is close to being a princeling. His father was in the Red Army with Mao Zedong. He was on the Long March. Does that make him a privileged person at 33 to start this rise because 33 is late to start to be a billionaire?
Yeah, I don't know how privileged he was, but certainly it helps in the sense of having a red background, especially these days where you have Xi Jinping with this Maoist, Marxist binge of his. And so it doesn't hurt to have that sort of lineage. But I'm not so sure how much it helped in his early stages.
Matthew, thank you for joining us again. We had a little trouble with the line here. We're speculating how you get to be a billionaire starting at 33 as an honorably discharged Army officer. Were there any tricks that people mention in his climb up in these last 16 years?
Well, I'm afraid, with anything Chinese wealth, there's a lot of murky history, and it's very difficult to get a great timeline as to how people are able to build their fortunes. It's much like tracking the fortunes in Russia. And so there aren't too many clues other than the fact that he was able to buy what was essentially a money-losing operation, a residential property developer, and turn it into the largest commercial property developer in China. So I really don't have any great answers for you as to how someone who comes from a military background is able to build such a...
Right, 16 years in the PLA, and then he leaves, and he becomes a billionaire. Gordon, in order to buy a property in China, in Shanghai and Hong Kong, you need credit, right? And that means you have to have access to banks. Is that the party? Are these the people in charge of the credit?
Yeah, I mean, that certainly is true. There's a lot of people, though, in his situation who were able to, of course, to use connections, but also were lucky and very skillful, and who were able to build very large businesses in China with only, certain so-so connections. And I think Wang fits into this. I mean, there are other egregious examples of people using their connections to build a business business. I don't think his was of that nature. Though, as Matthew says, there's a lot to be explained that we just don't know about him.
Matthew, purchasing AMC. Okay, he owns movie chains in the United States. Is this understood as a way of getting his money out or getting hold of an asset that won't decline in the event that there's a bubble collapse in China?
Very much so. I think when you look at anyone who is in China or where they typically need the blessing or act at the mercy of the state in order to build your fortune, along with luck and entrepreneurship, etc., you look to diversify out. And so there's always this concern that there's a huge property bubble in China. The government has placed a lot of restrictions on the amount of money that people can lend to try and tamper that down. And adding requirements to down payments and interest rates, etc. And so, of course, it's natural for him to want to get some of his money out and protect sort of the billion-dollar fortune he's created.
Matthew, there was speculation that the Chinese government directed Wanda to buy AMC in order to get a hold over Hollywood. How do you view it?
I don't know. I mean, that's reports. There's nothing in our reporting or our story about him becoming the richest man in China that had any way of proving that as fact. That's only speculation. And it sounds more like a crime novel to me that you make the richest man in the world go out and buy an American entertainment company just so they can get control of Hollywood.
Does he spend any time in Hollywood? Is he hanging out with the glamorous people? Is he invited to the Academy Awards? Anything like that, Matthew?
None of that color. He is focused on getting his money out, though, and so we're seeing more deals. He bought a yacht maker, the yacht company that makes the yachts for some of the James Bond movies. He's talking about building property towers or commercial towers in London, and so he's very much seems to be a very hard-working, hard-charging Chinese billionaire, and that's very common amongst the Chinese elite. If you look at Zhang Qinghou, the second richest man in China, the guy who founded the Wahaha beverage company, Zhang is tireless and spends almost his entire life at the Wahaha building, basically running his business. He's there from 7 a.m. to well past midnight most days.
Matthew Miller is the billionaires editor at Bloomberg News. The man you've never heard of, but you have now, Zhang Wanglin, owns, and I mention among all these theaters, 500 theaters, he owns 68 karaoke bars. Who knows? Gordon Chang of Forbes.com. You could be singing in one right now. I'm John Batchelor.